Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadadi Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yudapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादा सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पदे गोपेशा गोपिकान्ता राधाकान्ता नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमदे भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्युषे नमः नमो ब्राह्मण्यदेवाय गोब्राह्मणहिताय च जगदिदाय कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधारा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौरभक्तवृंद आनन्दलीलामय विग्रहाय हेमाभिदिव्या च विसुन्दराय तस्मै महाप्रेमरसप्रदाय चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते
Hare Krishna. So welcome all the devotees for today's teachings of Lord Chaitanya. So we are reading from teachings of Lord Chaitanya, and from which passage, from which para?
In the Western world, Prabhuji.
I think we have covered that. Hiranmayana Patrayana. We read that last week, right? Anyone remembers?
Prabhu,
Not last week,
Prabhu,
before
the
last.
screen
Yeah.
is not that clear. Is there any issue, Prabhu? It's little blurred.
This is shared by Sujay Gaurchandra Prabhu.
But
येन पात्रेण सत्याशापितं मुखं तत् तत्त्वं पुषन् आपवर्णो satya dharmaya drishyate. Okay, actually all the Upanishads, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has been explained as an impersonal aspect. Okay, only in the Vaishnava tradition that we will see that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is a person, because that's why Prabhupada has given personality. He is not in some avyakta, some vague or some void. He is a person. The only difference between us and the Supreme Lord, he is the Supreme Person, we are person. So, and he is Supreme Personality of Godhead, not just God, but the head of all gods. So, in usually, especially in the Shariraka Bhashyam of Shankaracharya, all in all his literatures, he has explained the absolute truth as avyakta, or as as an impersonal aspect. That is why in general in India, throughout India, because most of India either impersonalism or sectites or Saivites, so all of them, majority of them follow this impersonal philosophy. So but in fact, even in Upanishad, the original translation, what I understood, that it is in the personal aspect only. But unfortunately, when the Vedas was reinstated by Shankaracharya, he has translated everything in an impersonal aspect form. So that's why most of the people in India think that Lord has no form, he is avyakta, and he's just vague because everything is Brahman. Brahman in the sense Shakti or the impersonal, the Brahma Jyoti. So that's why, only in the Vaishnava tradition we'll find that he is a person, and he is the not only person, he is the supreme person. So here it's said in the Upanishad. This is, I think, from Isopanishad. O my Lord, sustainer of all that lives, your real face is covered by your dazzling effulgence. Kindly remove that covering and exhibit yourself to your pure devotees. So, Isopanishad Mantra 15. Because uh, actually the people cannot see the Supreme Personality of Godhead because of the dazzling effulgence. He is being covered. So the Jiva is requesting, please remove this dazzling effulgence so that we can see you, the real person. Okay, because we don't have the capacity or the ability to see the person, Supreme Personality of Godhead, with our mundane senses. That's why the Jiva is requesting, please remove the effulgence so that we can see you face to face. The impersonalists do not have the power to go beyond the effulgence of God and arrive at the personality from whom this effulgence is emanating. At the end of the Isopanishad, however, there is a hymn to the personality of Godhead. It is not that the impersonal Brahman is denied, it is also described, but that Brahman is considered to be the glaring effulgence of the body of Chaitanya. In other words, Krishna Chaitanya is the basis of the impersonal Brahman. It's also stated by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita that the impersonal Brahman rests on him. Brahmanohi pradishtaham. See, Brahmanohi, Brahman, that is the impersonal effulgence. Pradishtaham, it is based on myself. So that's what even in Bhagavad Gita Lord Krishna says. The Paramatma or super soul, which is present within the heart of every living entity and within every atom of the universe, is but the partial representation of Chaitanya. Krishna Chaitanya is therefore the basis of Brahman and the supreme personality of Godhead as well. As the supreme, he is full in six opulences: wealth, fame, strength, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation. In short, we should know that he is Krishna, God, and nothing is equal to or greater than him. There is no superior to be conceived. He is the supreme person. Uh, am I audible to all of you?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Clear, no?
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So here, Prabhupada is very clearly giving us the different aspects of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Brahman, the Paramatma, and the Bhagwan. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also, since he is also none other than Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, he is also representing Krishna. So there is no difference between Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is what Prabhupada wants all of us, especially he wants to introduce Chaitanya Mahaprabhu into the Western world. So he's giving a clear indication that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, and he has three aspects, that is Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan aspects are given here very clearly. And apart from that, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Apart from that, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is having all the six opulences. So which are the six opulences?
Wealth, fame, strength, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation.
Yes, Haribol. So he is full of all the six opulences, Shad Aishwarya. Okay, Aishwaryasya, Samagrasya, Veerasya, Yasasrisya, Jnana Varagyoschaiva, Shannam Bhaga Idingana. Right? So all the opulences he possesses, of which we all possess a minute degree of the same. So that's why whatever is there in Lord Krishna, the Supreme Absolute Truth, we also possess in a certain degree. That's all. We cannot possess anything that Lord Krishna doesn't have. Is it possible?
No problem.
So whatever Lord Krishna has, that we can possess into a minute degree. That's all. It was Rupa Goswami, a confidential devotee, taught for more than 10 days continuously by Lord Chaitanya, who wrote, Namo Mahavadinyaya Krishna Prema Pradayade Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurakti Sanam. In Prayag, Ashwamedha Ghat, in Dashashwamedha Ghat, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught Rupa Goswami for 10 continuous days. So about the bhakti aspect of Vaishnava tradition, that is what mainly Rupa Goswami was taught by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he is telling, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya, who is more magnanimous than any other avatara, even Krishna himself, because he is bestowing freely what no one else has ever given, pure love of Krishna. So what's the difference between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Krishna? Krishna is keeping some condition, to get Krishna prema or liberation from this material world. So what is the condition that Krishna keeps? What is the condition?
Is it Prabhuji Sarvadharman Paritejya?
Yes, Sarva Dharman Paritejya Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. Okay, is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu keeping that condition?
No, Prabhu. Unconditional.
So what he does, he is calling and distributing this Krishna prema to anyone and everyone without any qualification. Okay, whether the person is qualified or not, deserving or not, he's just he's sitting in a marketplace and calling everybody, take. But are there people to take it? No, people are not willing to take it. Even when we are giving it free, the topmost, the Krishna prema, people are not willing to take it. So it was Nityananda Prabhu and Namacharya Haridas Thakur, who was instructed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to go house to house and distribute this freely. And they even, we know the story of Jagai and Madai. They even tried to kill them, attack them, but still so merciful. More than Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is merciful. More than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is merciful?
Nityananda Prabhu.
Nityananda Prabhu. Because even when this Jagai and Madai went to attack them, but they never left. Somehow or other, we have to make these, sinful personalities chant Hare Krishna. So this was their mood. So very, very, compassionate. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got annoyed when he came to know that Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur, was attacked by these two brothers. But then it was Nityananda Prabhu who told him to forgive. So this is the causeless mercy of Vaishnavas. But Lord Krishna, when he kept some condition, I will give you Krishna prema, but then you have to exclusively pray and worship me. Manmana bhavat bhakto madhyajimam namaskuru. So these are the 4 conditions that he said. Okay, undeviated, uninterrupted devotion to Lord Krishna only. So this is the condition. Whereas Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never said any condition, just chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So this is the difference between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Krishna. So is the most magnanimous avatara of all the avataras. It is not that Chaitanya teaches a long and elaborate path to God realization. He is completely spiritual, and he begins from the point of surrender to Krishna. He does not pursue the paths of Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga or Atha Yoga, but begins at the end of the material existence, the point where one gives up all material attachments. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna began his teachings by distinguishing the soul from matter, and in the 18th chapter concluded with the point where the soul surrenders to him in devotion. The Mayavadis would have all talk cease there, but at that point, the real discussion only begins. It is the Vedanta Sutra which begins, Tatho Brahma Jitnyasa. Now let us begin to inquire about the Supreme Absolute Truth. Rupa Goswami thus praises Chaitanya as the most munificent incarnation of all, for he gives the greatest gift by indicating the highest form of devoted service. In other words, he answers the most important inquiries that anyone can make. So it is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who gave this, causeless mercy to all, whether one deserves or not. Desha Kala Patra, without seeing the qualification, without seeing the Desha Kala Patra, time, place, and circumstance, he has distributed. He wanted the whole world to go back home, back to Godhead. And he did not go outside India, but he has entrusted this job to his, successors, like Srila Prabhupada was entrusted this. He is the representative, spiritual ambassador who took this message outside India also, outside the boundaries of India also. So now, because of his causeless mercy and the spiritual, our Param Guru Srila Prabhupada's causeless mercy, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's name and fame are sung in each and every nook and corner of the world. Okay, and we are all fortunate to get associated with this moment, especially Srila Prabhupada, the Param Guru. So there are different stages of devotional service and God realization. Strictly speaking, anyone who accepts the existence of God is situated in devotional service. To acknowledge that God is great is something, but not much. Chaitanya, preaching as an acharya, a great teacher, taught that we can enter into a relationship with God and actually become God's friend. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna showed Arjuna his universal form because Arjuna was his very dear friend. Upon seeing Krishna as the Lord of the universes, however, Arjuna actually asked Krishna to forgive the familiarity of his friendship. Chaitanya goes beyond this point. Through Lord Chaitanya, we can become friends with Krishna, and there is no limit to this friendship. We can become friends of Krishna, not in awe and adoration, but in complete freedom. We know that any religion, if you take, they cannot have this type of relationship with the Supreme Lord. So maximum, fear, bhaya bhakti, okay, or awe and reverence. So this is the relationship generally all the religious principles dictates or gives. But here, Lord Chaitanya is giving the different types of relationship, starting from Shanta to Madhurya. So this specialty we got only from Lord Chaitanya. Even when Krishna descended, this was possible only to some group of pure devotees, that is the gopis. Okay, now this is given to every one of us, provided we follow the instructions that is given to us. So this is a specialty of Sanatana Dharma, especially the Vaishnava tradition that is propagated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Otherwise, if you ask any other people who practices other religion, they say we have to fear the Supreme Lord. Why should we fear? Is it necessary if you are following the rules and regulation or the laws of the country? Should we fear the police department? Is it necessary? It is not necessary. Similarly, if you are following the spiritual codes of our spiritual codes, is it necessary for us to fear the Supreme Lord? No. So that is the speciality of Lord Chaitanya. He has given according to our consciousness, according to our consciousness, we can have a particular way of relationship with the Supreme Lord, and starting from Shantarasa to Madhurya Rasa. So we can even relate to God as his father. So that is, Vatsalya Rasa. So we can treat the Supreme Lord as our parents, as our father, as our mother, isn't it? We can treat him as our friend, just like Arjuna. Arjuna was having a relationship with Supreme Lord as what? Fraternal, that is friendship, isn't it? But the moment he came to know that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, immediately everything changed. Then he was regretting, oh my Lord, I was treating you as my friend. I was calling you by name. We were dining together. We were sleeping together. We were joking together. So it was an apadara. He was thinking, because till that time he was treating Lord Krishna as a friend only. But the moment he saw the Virat Rupa, that he understood that he is not an ordinary human being. It's not just my friend, but it's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But again, after some time, he was again, put the Maya, that Yoga Maya curtain, so that Arjuna again forgot that Supreme Lord is that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Again started relating to Krishna as friend only. So for increasing the pleasure, Lord Krishna makes this arrangement to make his pure devotees forget who Krishna is and who the other party is. So that is the Lord's pastime. So it is very, it is very, very what do you call it? Rare that the devotees, especially in Vrindavan and all, they, even though Lord Krishna says, I am Supreme Personality of Godhead, even Balrama sometimes says, we are Supreme Personality of Godhead, they will never believe that. They don't want to believe that also, because their relationship with the Supreme Lord is of not that awe and reverence, and they have a very special relationship, and they want to enjoy the relationship. So conveniently they want to forget, and at the same time Lord also wants to forget that he is the Supreme Lord. So this mode you will find only in Golokana, nowhere else. No other planets in the spiritual world you will have this relationship. Even in Vaikuntha, you can have awe and reverence. Maximum, Shantarasa, Dasyarasa, and to a certain extent, some, Aishwarya is there, some conjugal from the Lakshmis. But others, they can have Shanta and Dasya, not more than that. But in Vrindavan, you can have any types of rasa, all the 5 rasas, depending upon what relation you want to keep. Some treats like sakhas, some treats like conjugal lover, some treats as dasya, shanta, so on and so forth. So this is not only the philosophy of Chaitanya Charitamrita, but of Srimad Bhagavatam as well. There are no other literatures in the world in which God is treated as the son of devotee. As I told you, no other literature will give such facility to treat the Lord as a friend, as a conjugal lover. This is not possible. Usually God is seen as the Almighty Father who supplies the demands of his sons. The great devotees, however, sometimes treat God as a son in their execution of devotional service. The son demands and the father supplies. And in supplying Krishna, the devotee becomes like a father. Instead of taking from God, we give to God. It was in this relationship that Krishna's mother, Yashoda, told the Lord, here, eat this or you'll die. Eat nicely. In this way, Krishna, although the proprietor of everything, depends on the mercy of his devotee. This is uniquely high level of friendship in which the devotee actually believes himself to be the father of Krishna. Hare Krishna, any comments or any points so far? I just kept reading. I'm sorry. I didn't ask you in between. Haribol? Is it clear or any comments?
Clear, Prabhuji.
Clear, Prabhu.
Yes. Shall I continue?
Yes, Prabhuji, please.
So what is the speciality of our tradition, the Sanatana Dharma, in comparison with other religion? What we have? What is the speciality?
We can treat Krishna in the 5 different ways, Prabhuji, from Shantata to Madhurya Rasa, anyways.
Okay, very good. Anything else? Any other comments? Isn't it really interesting, to treat the God like just like equals, friends, and to treat them as conjugal lover, the lover and the beloved, and the parents, and and even to the extent that the devotees can make the Supreme Lord as his servant, just like Arjuna. Arjuna was instructing Krishna, do this, do that, when he became the charioteer, isn't it, in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So any religion will accept this? Eh?
No way, Prabhu.
So this is really something special, isn't it? So to understand this philosophy, if you tell others also, without having any foundation of Sanatana Dharma, they will laugh. So what sort of a God yours is? He's becoming a chariot driver, because we see in the material world, a driver it's a menial job, isn't it? So they see from that perspective, they cannot accept that, isn't it?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
In one lecture, Prabhuji, I heard that one that in the battlefield, when he is giving the instruction to go here left and right, Arjuna was instructing by his feet only. When he touched
Yeah, right,
Krishna
Prabhuji.
with his feet only, not by words. And Krishna is tolerating all
Yeah,
those things as well.
Yeah, because in the battlefield, even if he speaks, he won't hear so much of noise. So only the indication is just he wants to go to the left, he will just kick with the left hand. If he wants to go right, like that, that's indication. So just imagine what sort of relationship they had. It's really amazing. However, Lord Chaitanya's greatest gift was his teaching that Krishna can be actually treated as one's lover. So that is the topmost teaching Lord Chaitanya gave. That is a conjugal relationship. In this relationship, the Lord is so much attached that he expresses his inability to reciprocate. So when in that particular relationship, that conjugal, Krishna tells that I'm indebted. I cannot pay my debt. So that is what So the only how I can pay that only by your own glories. You can pay the debt. It's not possible otherwise. So Krishna was so obliged to the gopis, the cowherd girls of Vrindavana, that he felt unable to return their love. I cannot repay your love. He told them, I have no more assets to return. Thus, devotional service is performed on this excellent platform, and knowledge of the devotee's relationship to Krishna as lover and beloved was given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It was never given by any previous incarnation or acharya. So from the time Lord Chaitanya advented, this topmost relationship has been given. Even from the time of Madhavendra Puri, that is, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Param Guru. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Guru is Ishvara Puri, and Ishvara Puri's Guru is Madhavendra Puri. So Madhavendra Puri is the first, acharya in our line who gave this actually Radha Krishna worship. So it's a great blessings for all of us to get this highest philosophy. So it was never given by any previous incarnation or acharya. Thus Rupa Goswami wrote of Chaitanya, devotional service itself is the highest platform, the glorious platform which you have contributed. You are Krishna in a yellow complexion, and you are Sachidananda, son of Mother Sachi. Those who hear Chaitanya Charitamrita will keep you in their hearts. It will be easy to understand Krishna through you. Thus Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to deliver Krishna. This method of deliverance was not meditation, fruitive activities, or scriptural study, but love. Okay. Vairagya Vidya, Nija Bhakti Yoga, Sikshartameka Purusha Purana. Okay, that shloka is very Vairagya Vidya. So why Vairagya Vidya? So, to teach us the Vairagya Vidya. What is that Vairagya Vidya?
Renunciation, Prabhu.
Yes. No? Detachment from all the worldly affairs and attachment to spirituality. Nija Bhakti Yoga. This is that Bhakti Yoga with the Supreme Personality of God. Sikshartameka Purusha Purana. About whom? The Purusha, the Purana Purusha. Who is the Purana Purusha?
Govinda.
Yes. Does it mean that he is very old? Purana. With white beard and very wrinkles on his face and all. Although he is the origin,
Nitya Yavana.
although he is the original, he is the oldest, but he's always, as Prabhuji said, Nitya Yavana. Okay. So, and you are Sachidan, the son of Mother Sachi. Those who we forgot that. Okay, we read that. Okay, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to deliver Krishna. This method of deliverance was not meditation, fruitive activities, or scriptural study, but love. So he came to teach us the pure love of God, Krishna, pure love of Krishna, not any other processes like meditation or karma kanda method or jnana, nothing, but pure love. We have often heard the phrase love of Godhead. How far this love of Godhead can actually be developed can be learned from the Vaishnava philosophy. Theoretical knowledge of love of God can be found in many places and in many scriptures. But what that love of God actually is and how it is developed can be found in Vaishnava literatures. It is unique and highest development of love of God that is given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this unique process is given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Any other tradition apart from Vaishnava tradition, if you read or if you understand, love of God is not there. But jnana, speculation, mental speculation, studying Upanishads, Vedas, that is there. And of course, a certain element of bhakti is also there. But here, this is 100% bhakti only. Predominantly, it is bhakti marga, all Vaishnava tradition. But in other tradition, you'll find studies, mental speculation, and a certain amount of bhakti also there. But bhakti is only a means, okay? But that's not the end. But for Vaishnavas, it is a means and it is the goal or end also. Okay. Even in this material world, we can have a little sense of love. How is it possible? It is due to the love which is found in the Godhead. Whatever we find within our experience, within this conditional life, is situated in the Supreme Lord, who is the ultimate source of everything. In our original relationship with the Supreme Lord, there is real love, and that love is reflected pervertedly through material conditions. Our real love is continuous and unending, but because that love is reflected pervertedly in this material world, it lacks continuity and is inebriating. If you want real transcendental love, we have to transfer our love to the supreme love object, Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the basic principle of Krishna consciousness. So we are experiencing that love in this material world also, but it is in the perverted form. In the perverted form, what happens? It becomes less because we become the center. But in the real form, in the spiritual world, Lord Krishna becomes the center. Okay, so our duty is to please him. So that is pure love. But when it comes to material world, the center of attraction, the center of everything, everything will be self. Suppose I want something, so I should be adored, I should be appreciated. No, I should be the center of attraction. So that is what is happening in this material world. Whereas in the spiritual world or in the spiritual realm, Krishna is in the center. So that is the real basic of love. So in the material consciousness, we are trying to love that which is not at all lovable. We give our love to dogs and cats, running the risk that at the time of death, we may think of them and consequently take birth in the family of cats and dogs. So we all know, especially in the present world, people, when they don't have anybody to love or to be loved, so they keep pets, cats and dogs. Okay, so they will be always meditating or thinking about their pets, and at the time of leaving the body, what they will attain next life, because they will be always remembering their pet dogs and cats. So they will take birth in those species of lives. So that is a risk. That's why Prabhupada is telling, running the risk that at the time of death we may think of them and consequently take birth in a family of cats or dogs. Why? Because Lord Krishna very clearly says that yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajadante kalaivanam tam tam evaiti kaunteya tada sadbhava bhavidaha anta kale cha mameva smaran muktva kalaivanam yat prayatasi madbhavam yati nasitra samsaya. So if we don't keep Krishna in the center, if we keep things or people with whom we have this material attachments, then we will be thinking about them and we will risk taking birth in such state. So thus the love that does not have Krishna as its object leads downward. It is not that Krishna or God is something obscure or something that only a few chosen people can attain. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu informs us that in every country and in every scripture, there is some hint of love of Godhead. Unfortunately, no one knows what love of God it actually is. The Vedic scriptures, however, are different in that they can direct the individual in the proper way to love God. Other scriptures do not give information on how one can love God, nor do they actually define or describe what or who the Godhead actually is. Although they officially promote love of Godhead, they have no idea how to execute it. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives a practical demonstration of how to love God in a conjugal relationship. Taking the part of Radharani, Chaitanya tries to love Krishna as Radharani loved him. Krishna was always amazed by Radharani's love. How does Radharani give me such pleasure? He would ask. In order to study Radharani, Krishna lived in her role and tried to understand himself. This is the secret of Lord Chaitanya's incarnation. Chaitanya is Krishna, but he has taken the mode of or role of Radharani to show us how to love Krishna. Thus he addressed, I offer my respectful obeisances unto Supreme Lord, who is absorbed in Radharani's thoughts. So as we all know, Lord Krishna took the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He himself came in a disguised way, taking the mood and complexion of Radharani, so that he can relish how Radharani related to him, worshipped him, or loved him. So to enjoy that mood of Radharani's relationship with Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came disguised. Krishna came disguised in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the mood and complexion of Radharani to enjoy that relationship. Hare Krishna. So Sarvapalak Prabhu and Mataji, there is Bhagavad Gita also, right? Whose turn is today?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
It's Parag Prabhu and Mini Mataji.
Last week class was cancelled, no, Prabhuji? Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Prabhuji, my turn.
Parag Prabhu. hai.
Okay, so can we stop this here?
Yes, Prabhu.
Just a second.